Krishna, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class. So today we are reading from chapter 3, verse 35. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharma swanutishtitat swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Shreyan swadharmo viguna. Repeat after me. Paradharma swanutishtitat swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Shreyan, for better. Swadharma, one's prescribed duties. Viguna, even faulty. Paradharmat, then duties mentioned for others. Su anutishtitat, perfectly done. Swa dharme, in one's prescribed duties. Nidhanam, destruction. Shreyaha, better. Paradharma, duties prescribed for others. Bhayavaha, dangerous. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties even though faultly than others' duties perfectly. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in others' duties, for to follow others' path is dangerous. Purport: one should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness rather than those prescribed for others. Materially prescribed duties are duties enjoyed according to one's psychophysical condition, under the spell of the modes of material nature. Spiritual duties are so ordered by the spiritual master for the transcendental service of Krishna. But whether material or spiritual, one should stick to the prescribed duties even up to death, rather than imitate others' prescribed duties. Duties on the spiritual platform and duties on the material platform may differ, but the principle of following the authorized direction is always good for the performer. When one is under the spell of modes of material nature, one should follow the prescribed rules for his particular situation and should not imitate others. For example, a Brahmana who is in the mood of goodness is non-violent, whereas a Kshatriya who is in the mode of passion is allowed to be violent. As such, for a Kshatriya it is better to be vanquished following the rules of violence than to imitate a Brahmana who follows the principles of non-violence. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by gradual process, not abruptly. However, when one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. In that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, the Kshatriya may act as a Brahmana or a Brahmana may act as a Kshatriya. In the transcendental stage, the distinction of material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a Kshatriya, but later on acted as a Brahmana, whereas Parshurama was a Brahmana, but later on he acted as a Kshatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so. But as long as one is on material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. At the same time, he must have all full sense of Krishna consciousness. Om Jnanam Timirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Rupade Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutpadagalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagad Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Savadetam Savadutan Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So today we are reading from verse 35 and it's beautifully given examples and translations of dharma and swadharma. So one need to understand what is dharma. Dharma is one's duty or action, and what is swadharma? Swadharma is the performance of duty or action according to one's nature. There are so many things we read through our scriptures. Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam give examples where Kshatriya has acted as Brahmanas and Brahmanas has acted as Kshatriyas. But this is for those who are transcendently situated. But for us, those who are beginning, we should follow the principle of Swadharma. What is Dharma? Dharma is that which holds the mind, intellect and soul together in harmony, which help us to prosper our life and grow spiritually. Here, Bhagavad Gita gives a very good examples where every can come up to the platform where we can develop ourselves spiritually. How? Because it gives us chance to understand Swadharma. Sometimes people understand Dharma only as Hinduism, Christianity or Muslim. But Swadharma or Dharma means duty, and this can be Kul Dharma, Stri Dharma, Rashtra Dharma and Yuga Dharma. When we talk about Yuga Dharma, here in Kali Yuga, the Dharma is to chant the holy name. Then we can elevate ourselves from lower platform to upper platform. This is a very sublime process given to us by Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavad Gita serves as a topmost equalizer for our society, which brings every individual up to the platform where one can feel uplifted. We all want to be uplifted. That is why people take shelter of alcohol and drugs. But when we start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, when we start reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we can uplift ourselves easily. Here, the example are mentioned like Swadharma is a basis where Swadharma is actually what you are. Sometimes children are being pushed by the family that you become a doctor. But the nature of a person to become a chef, he can be a world-round known chef because his nature, he is inclined toward cooking. That is what we see in day-to-day life today. So we say follow your heart. So that is nature, the basic nature. So one should not be forced. That has been mentioned in this shloka, that we should follow the duty which is being followed by our nature. That is Swadharma. So one can say that how we get into Swadharma, that is followed by Swabhava. Now what is Swabhava? Swabhava is the quality or the nature you are born with. You may be a kind person, you may be a cruel person, you may be in between. But when you get chance to become better in your Swabhava, you will show more qualities and skill. And this Swabhava nurtures through Trigunas, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance. If a person who is of good nature associates with goodness, he can go forward in his swabhava or the basic nature. That is why those who associate, it's very important to associate with like-minded people, because then your nature will drive you toward the proper destination of your life. But we can't say that, like if somebody is saying, I feel restless, it means you are not following your swadharma. When we are not following the swadharma, we feel restless, we feel anxiety. And when we start following the actual swadharma, we become better human being, we become calm. On that, some people may say, I feel restless if I don't drink alcohol. Because people think drinking and drugs will calm down their restlessness. But what is been mentioned in Mahabharata is definition of dharma and swadharma is whatever creates conflict is adharma. Whatever puts an end to the conflict is dharma. Whatever makes you happy is swadharma. So you have to choose in between all these categories to understand oneself. Srila Prabhupada has beautifully given us in Srimad Bhagavad Gita so many shlokas where swadharma is explained. Swadharma followed by swabhava. There I want to mention one story about a saint and a scorpion. Scorpion have a tendency to sting without just anything, and saints have the quality to try to help people out. So once it happened, a sage was taking bath in a river with his disciples, and there was a scorpion which was trying to save his own life. He was in waters in the river, and when that saint saw that scorpion, he tried to help him out by saving its life. But whenever the saint tried to hold that scorpion to save his life, he used to give him a stung. He was almost fainted by the way scorpion was giving him all these stungs, but still he followed his swadharma and saved the life of a scorpion. And then also going beyond that, he took him from the middle of the river and went to the shore and given him in the bushes, and the scorpion just went away in the bushes and disappeared and said, I've been saved by somebody, and he was thankless. But then disciples asked the Guru, the saint, even though he was giving you pain, he was giving you distress, then also you were helping him. Why? And the saint said, he is not up to the level of consciousness, but he was also abide by his nature or swadharma. When a small scorpion cannot give up his nature, how can I, being a saint, can give up? So we should learn, like Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in so many places, purity is the force. We should not give away our way of life, helping and supporting devotees. So many times devotees are being attacked by Mayavadis or atheist people. Then also we don't give up preaching movement. This movement is preaching movement. So Srila Prabhupada continued it, and we should also follow on his footsteps to try to revive Krishna consciousness wherever is possible. So this is a small example of Swabhava. So when scorpion cannot give away his way of life, so we as a devotee should not give away our way of life by preaching, by doing our own sadhana. So here, when we talk about Swadharma, in chapter 2 also Krishna has mentioned about very little about Swadharma. Swadharma, he is teaching to Arjuna that being a Kshatriya, it's his duty to fight. Krishna is saying in chapter 2, verse 31, Swadharmapi chaveksha navikampi tumarhasi dharmarhyadhi yuddha chreyon anyatra kshatriyasya na vidyate. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, You should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need of hesitation. So Arjuna is hesitant because he is saying all destruction because of his taking involvement in this battlefield. But Krishna is telling you should, as a Kshatriya, follow your Swadharma. Here, if Arjuna takes up the way of life as Brahmanas do non-violence, then it will be against his Swadharma. When you have to fight for injustice, you have to fight for injustice. You can't give excuses. The gun in a hand of a terrorist do different things. The gun in a hand of a army official do different things. But the gun is same. So we should know where to use this gun. If being a Kshatriya, Arjuna is not going to save his people, his mankind, it's bad on his part. It's not good for a Kshatriya to be that much compassionate. Even he has tried hard not to involve himself in the battlefield, but this has happened from the another side. Kauravas are very much prominent to take a part in this battlefield, and now Pandavas has also taken the part in this battle. They are going to fight for truth. So Swadharma is one's own nature that one has to follow without any deviation. That is the purpose of this verse. And we should not imitate others. We should follow what we actually are. Because every individual takes birth with some specific gunas, with specific qualities, and that qualities mature when they get right time, the right association. It's good or bad, but it matures with due course of time. And when we get into that association, we just try to get all good benefit. We should not be hesitant. We should not be imitating others. It should be this way, it should be that way. No, it should be the way Krishna wants us. What Krishna is telling, that is what Bhagavad Gita is, a manual for mankind. Every TV fridge comes with the manuals, how to put plug, how to put this wire there. So Bhagavad Gita is a manual for mankind, and we should take all good benefit out of it. So here it's very beautifully mentioned that whether it's material world or spiritual world, you have to pick up your duties and you have to perform them till your death. You can't just run away. You have to perform it because Krishna wanted. That is the principle. The principle has to be followed, material life or spiritual life, pick up and keep on performing. But the ideology is it should not be against the things mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Like I has given the example of alcohol. You just can't say, I am restless, maybe I am not following my Swadharma, I am restless, so I should take up alcohol or drugs. No. Swadharma is what subdues the conflict within self and within the society. That is Swadharma is. It will subdue the conflict. So you can have this check mark. If a child wants to become a chef, he will be happy to be a chef rather than pushing him to become a doctor. These things are very common in today's world. But these have been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita thousands of years back. So this is nothing new when we say follow your heart. But your heart should be purified with the process of bhakti. With the path of bhakti, your heart gets purification. Because we have accumulated all this lust, greed, all these we are passing by with so many of birth, and we have all this dirt. So we have to first cleanse our heart with chanting, with hearing. Then only we can come up to the platform where our dharma will be in the right direction. Here, one of the lecture in the morning, I was hearing of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, the so-called educated person, they are very much proud of their university, their degrees, but if you ask some question about from where you have come, where gonna be, they have no reply for it. And they say it's all nonsense. We believe in living today. So further Srila Prabhupada says, actually we are not this present life. This life is only a spot in our journey. This is very important. We think this life is everything. No, this lifetime is just a spot in our journey. Now from this lifetime you have to make direction for your further journey. So you can't just waste it. People think everything what I am doing is going to give me all good result now or then, but you don't know, you are struggling from all these things from so many lifetimes. So everything should be taken with due course of time, with proper understanding, with the help of the senior devotees, with the help of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and through all this Shastric understanding. Bhagavad Gita is giving us so much. Then again, it's on to us how we take it. It's not just reading and you just passing your time. Unless we pick up something practical out of it, there is no point of saying that I am getting benefit out of it. You have to take benefit out of Bhagavad Gita. Like today's, this shloka is giving, like if you follow some other's path, you may follow destruction. Some people may think this will be better for me, this will be better for me, but your Swadharma will take you to your right direction. That is why in the last 18th chapter, verse 66 says, Swadharma anuparitajya mam ekam sharanam praja. Now Krishna is telling, give up all kind of dharmas. Don't get attached to this dharma, that dharma, stri dharma, purush dharma, rashtra dharma, yuga dharma. Now you come and surrender unto me. I will take care of you. Do not worry, because Krishna knows we worry a lot. He knows because he is sitting in our heart as a Paramatma. So he knows our all worries. And that is why as this Bhagavad Gita is proceeding from chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, reaching till 18th chapter, 66th verse, he said, surrender unto me fully. Sarva dharmanu paritajya. Now he is teaching, follow Swadharma, follow this, follow that, and when we will reach 18th chapter, 66th verse, he will say, give up everything and just surrender unto me. So this is a gradual process. You can't just become purified in a single day. It takes years and years, but you have to follow the process. The process in which you will not be confined to your body, but to the higher level, onto the level of community. It's not just for my betterment, it's not just my people's betterment, it's for everybody's betterment. That is the idea behind. So Bhagavad Gita has given us a lot. Now it's on up to us how we take it. Like it's always, whenever you follow, like here it's mentioned, when you follow your thing, you feel a lot things come that disturbs you, that puts you down. Then always remember the sun which illuminates the entire world is at some times in darkness too. So darkness is a part of everybody's life. So don't give up on what you are working on. You should continue your journey with Krishna consciousness. Here Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the first line of the purport, discharge your prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? You have to be always conscious of Krishna. Whatever I am doing it for Krishna as an offering. If you do small thing, then offer unto Krishna. If you do big things, then also offer unto Krishna. So everything is about your consciousness. We have to refine our consciousness from Dehatma Buddhi, from body to the higher purpose of life. You just can't get attached to your body and satisfy your needs and you are done. No. When you really see, like Srila Prabhupada has done a lot for all of us. So he was doing for us even without meeting us. He has left his body and he is eternally resting in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And still also he is doing a lot good for us. Because he is resting here, this place is special place. So we should never leave our Swadharma, whatever challenges we are surrounded with. That is the idea behind. We should not give up. These are the testing points. Krishna will give you whatever you want, but he will test you how strongly you want. That is the point. If I want, okay, it's okay, then it's okay. We have to become loving, stubborn child. I love you, Krishna. I follow your instruction, Krishna, but I want it. Not for myself, but for all of us. Then Krishna will test us, and if we pass, he will give us bigger than we demanded. So, asking Krishna as a father is not wrong, because he knows it. But then again, when a father is going to buy you an expensive mobile phone, he will first see whether you are eligible to handle this expensive gift. He will say, no, I will buy you next month this and that. But he will buy you. Before that he will test you by asking you few things, by seeing whether you really need it or not. If you are eligible, he will buy you. And Krishna is more loving father than our material father of this birth, because he is associating as Paramatma life after life. He is caring for us and he wants us back with him. It was a beautiful story I've heard few years back in some of the lectures I was hearing. And they said like Krishna wants us back, and if one child goes back, Krishna will be very happy by chanting the holy name, with reading Bhagavad Gita. Somehow he reached back home, back to Godhead. Krishna will be very happy to welcome the child. But if the same child brings other brothers and sisters and goes back home, back to Godhead, Krishna will be more than happy. So we should try to become that child who is not just pursuing his own journey, but also helping other brothers and sisters onto the journey. We all are not same, but our destination is same. So we have to have helping hands. So don't carry baggages in your hand, your achievements in your hand. Leave them down. So you are free to help people out. You are free to support people out by preaching, by guiding, with kind, sweet word. Words can be detrimental thing and can be the best reward one can ever achieve. So, like I was mentioning Swadharma. So, on the lighter side, I would like to mention one story. There was a pickpocket thief, and he used to do all this mischief, and he was earning well, and he was praying to the God that I should earn more by stealing money, by pickpockets and all these things. He was good in his business somehow. After some time, he wanted to get married, and he got a good match. He got another person, a woman who was also a pickpocket, a thief. This match was going good all around and was, getting everything they wanted, all wealth, riches. And then they desired for a child. They wanted to have a child. They went to the temple of Krishna and they prayed there that Krishna, we want a child. and we want the child to continue the tradition of the family. He should be the best thief, pickpocket. And they prayed, and after a year, a child was born. When the child was born, one hand of the child was closed. He was just holding like a fist, closed. Parents got worried. They visited the best doctor possible, best hospital possible, then the psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist asked their profession and everything. And he said, okay, well, nothing is working because child is not opening his hand. We have tried so hard. So then what you do? You prepare expensive necklace with all diamond rubies and try to present in front of the child eyes. Let's see how he reacts. Parents did that. They prepared beautiful necklace with diamond rubies and presented in front of child's eye. And all of the surprise, child grabbed it. And in the meantime, he grabbed something fall from his hand. And it was the ring of the nurse who helped the baby get delivered. So he really followed the family tradition. It's on the lighter side, but yes, these are the stories which actually tells one born with some of the qualities, good or bad. I don't want to tag it good or bad, but every one of us mostly born with inborn qualities. That is how our karma destined us to a specific woman and to the womb of that woman. So we have to be very careful with the karmas because we are dealing with the karma chapter. First 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita teach us karma yoga. Middle 6 chapters teach us the bhakti yoga. And the last 6 chapter teach us jnana yoga. So we are on to the 3rd chapter and dealing with karma yoga. So karma yogi, those who are karma yogis, they really read these chapters again and again. As devotees, we are also reading it. But then again, we are trying to surrender every action, every fruit onto the lotus feet of Krishna. We be Krishna consciousness and everything Krishna will take care. And He will. There is no doubt about this. So when we read Karma Yoga, we understand what I will get when I will do this thing and what is not prescribed by Srimad Bhagavad Gita. All idea is to understand action, inaction, and how to perform the duties. In the case of here, example is mentioned as a Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was a Kshatriya who wanted to become a sage, and not on the normal sage. He wanted to become a Brahma Rishi. He was not satisfied with the category of sage or a Rishi. He wanted to become a Brahma Rishi. And he really did work hard, continuously. He tasted failures so many times. But the only thing which given him the post and position of Brahma Rishi was his dedicated, continuous action toward his goal. Even he was failing, but he continued. We should learn from it. We should never just give away something which is really coming from our heart. He was born in a Kshatriya family, but he was pursuing nature and qualities of a Brahmana. That was more satisfying toward him. So he went toward that journey and he achieved, and he was satisfied. Then here the example of Parshurama. Parshurama was Brahmana and he killed Kshatriyas so many times. So these things are possible for those who are dedicated toward their Swadharma and those who are transcendentally situated. But then we have to follow the footprints of all these exalted examples are given in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, because you should have some understanding. You should always set an example by your action. We should not keep on waiting for something. We should learn, pick up, start following it, and start doing that others can also help and support. Thank you so much. I'll stop here. Any questions and comments? Hare Krishna. Yes.
And if you do the dharma and you remember Krishna also, it's not that you're surrendering to him.
Yes. This is the understanding that whatever we are doing, we have to offer it to Krishna. Every action should be as an offering to Krishna. Why I have elaborated on Swadharma? Because people get confused, what is my Swadharma? They always mix Swadharma with Dharma only, like I mentioned. But there are so many ways of understanding Swadharma. You do that thing and at the end, you have to offer it to Krishna. That is the thing. That is the first line mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna consciousness. Every action should be Krishna consciousness. Then it is perfect. If you are a big achiever, you are a materialistic person, but you don't understand that ultimately everything should be offered to Krishna, then there is no point of your achievements. Everything should be offered to Krishna with dedicated service as an offering onto his lotus feet.
That's what we use to be a thief. So if a thief also will offer to Krishna, I am stealing something and I am offering you something. So that is also dharma.
I mention here from Mahabharata, anything that brings conflict is adharma. You can offer on to Krishna. That is again in karma. But you cannot say that Swadharma you have waived off because you are doing something which is bringing misery to someone. You are stealing somebody's ring or necklace. You are also bringing distress to someone. Then also you can offer it to Krishna. That's okay. But that is not Swadharma or Dharma, to give distress to someone.
It's not that we understand that in previous karma somebody has done something to me and I am doing something to him.
Yes.
We can understand that.
Always, it's always there, you never know. The karma is so intricate, you never understand whether you are taking it or you are paying it back. It's always a confusion. But as a devotees, we should understand one thing, that we should not be the cause of distress to others, but we should keep on following the path of Krishna consciousness. Try to help and support whichever way possible. And continue our devotional life. Preach, distribute prasadam, make everyone come close to Krishna. We should be the example in the society. At the end of the day, it's between Krishna and all of us individual. What I have done, it's between me and Krishna. What you have done, it's between you and Krishna. But we should be conscious by reading all these verses. We should try to avoid as much as possible to do anything wrong to anyone. And always offer everything Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Like in the Gita, Krishna is explaining everything to Arjuna. So many things he is explaining. And in the end, he should give up all those things, whatever he has explained. And just he will fight. Just he will fight. So you see, we also know in Shastras whatever is written. And why then sometimes we are devoted our mind that we should serve Rama, we should serve Tulsi, we should serve Janna, we should serve Godhan. So why this is comes in our mind?
Whenever you are serving Tulsi Maharani, you are also serving Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna and his devotees. And she is a Bhakti Devi. Whenever you are serving Yamuna Devi, she is also close to Krishna. So when you have understanding, everything belongs to Krishna and you are serving them, then you are conscious. Everything has to be done in a conscious manner, that everything is having connection with Krishna. Then there is no offense. But when you think this is almighty and this is everything, then you commit offense. When you see everything in connection with Krishna, it's a beautiful journey. Yamuna is Krishna's dear, Tulsi Maharani is dear to Krishna. All these things, when they are taking you know everything, whichever taking you close to Krishna is not wrong, because you understand they are in relationship with Krishna. Bhakti Devi will help me in growing my devotional service. I will ask Yamuna Devi to take me close to Krishna. When we are praying this way, then services in this way are not wrong. When we pray to Gau Mata, you are dear to Krishna. Gau Brahman Hitaya Cha. Gau Mata is dear to Krishna, and when we serve Gau Mata in connection with Krishna, then it's always elevating. There is no offense in this. Ultimately, we have to understand everything belongs to Krishna. Every action should be performed to satisfy Krishna.
When I'm serving Gau Mata, I'm thinking that whatever benefit I should get from there, just like we have cow, you make cow, or when make another product from cow, and we are distributing that and we are getting money. So what is the thinking of that?
It's good actually. If instead of sending something chemical, we are selling cow urine, cow dung to uplift the society. Why? Because then again somehow we are connecting ignorant people to Krishna. Those who cannot come to Krishna directly, they also need some kind of a middle way. So cow dung, cow urine, all this prasadam serve as a midway to connect with higher stage of consciousness. Rather you send somebody something else, you can send cow urine, cow dung, that will purify. We are in Vrindavan, and when Krishna used to kill any demon, Yashoda Maiya used to sprinkle cow urine over him as a purification. What else we need? Cow urine is so purifying that Krishna is telling it even purifies me. So there is no offense if we are doing this kind of service. We should continue.
The service we are doing, but we are thinking that I should accumulate money, I should use for my maintenance and business. So that thing I am asking.
As much as is required, we should use everything in the service of Krishna, and slowly we should change the mindset of enjoying one's own senses. You will get what you are destined to. Your birth chart depicts everything. Then you have to continue your journey with Krishna consciousness. If you are earning good, give it to Krishna. If you got a good art, offer it to Krishna. But if you attached everything to your sense gratification, then it is wrong. We should understand that we are in this wonderful movement for the higher purpose of life. We cannot act like somebody who is materially inclined. We have different purpose to continue our sadhana bhakti and also help others to come onto the path of spirituality.
But serving Krishna and I am getting Prabhupada said 4 type of people come to Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
So one who is desiring money, so Krishna deserves money. But one who is business is business. One who comes for knowledge gets knowledge. So the person who is coming for money, so Krishna is giving him money, and he forgets Krishna is giving him money, then he is saying that I want to build a house for me and this thing. Then he is totally engaging with those things.
Yes, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 types of people come up to me: Arth, Artharthi, Jnani, Jigyasu. Krishna gives money to those and they get happy with the money itself. But Krishna is the highest purpose. If they forget, then they will be involved in their money, they are happy, they are all good things. But the challenge is this: even if you get everything and then you remember Krishna. That is why we should associate with devotees. There the work of association come. There where I will help, you will help, everybody will help each other. Where I will be falling down, you will help me to get on the right track. That is where association work. Where we get entangled into money. If we were thinking that I will do this sadhana bhakti and elevate myself and get back home, back to Godhead. That is the purpose. But if we get entangled into money and other things, that Krishna will say, okay, you take few more lifetimes. Because this is the place where we should pursue only higher consciousness and higher purpose. Maya is always there to check us. That is the testing point. That's why I mentioned Krishna will test us whether I fit for this reward or not. So I have to be stubborn to get cling to Krishna consciousness, to my sadhana bhakti, to cling to Srila Prabhupada and its all rules and regulations set for us. Then surely Srila Prabhupada will save us, Krishna will take us back home, back to Godhead.
But I'm avoiding both the things. I want to bhakti also, I want to be Maya also, all the things.
See, this is not balancing. This is about choosing one. You can never balance. You have to choose one. And I guarantee you, Krishna will never take away things from you. He will just test you and he will give you more than you ever thought of. So on that point, you have to give you have to tell that yes, I really ready for this. And I want you, Krishna. I am ready to give up everything. And believe me, Krishna will not take away everything. He will give you more. These are the just testing point, because we are aspiring for one who is Trigunatit, one who is beyond all three: goodness, passion and ignorance. We are seeking Krishna, who is Gunatit and who is the master of all cosmic manifestation. How can you get that person so easily? You need to pass, even in getting admission in good university, you have to pass some exam whether you fit to be here or not. But we are asking for Krishna, the highest of the highest. So these are the testing points for all of us, and we should surrender to Srila Prabhupada and always stick to our sadhana bhakti and to the principle. We will be successful. Hare Krishna.